What if I told you I found the cure for mental disorders such as PTSD, anxiety, and depression? What if I introduced to you a new way of thinking that gave you more control than you ever thought possible? Now, what if I told you that I could do all of this while you sleep? Late one night when I was 17 years old, I got a call from my friend Ashley. She was asking me to help her relax and fall asleep. Being a hypnotist, it's not uncommon for my friends to call me requesting me to help them this way. I remember distinctly that night feeling like I wanted to do something new. I wanted to create a new method. I'm a certified hypnotist, and I've been studying the subject since I was 14 years old. But what happened that night was something I could have never expected. After trying this new method, and sensing that Ashley had reached the sleep state, I stayed on the line for a moment, just listening to the silence, when all of a sudden that silence was broken by the sound of her voice. This confused me, and I quickly began to panic, not because of the fact that she was speaking, but because of what she was saying. She started speaking in the third person, giving me information about herself, things I had never heard before and had no idea about. I knew it was her speaking, but it just didn't sound like her. After listening to this for a few minutes, I finally brought myself to ask the question, who is this? And the response I got on the phone that night is one that has changed my life and one that I will never forget. Her voice came through the other line and said, "My name is Truth." Now I really started to panic. What is going on? Who is Truth? Is Ashley crazy? Am I crazy? The questions were racing through my mind. Truth then began to put me at ease by telling me that everything was going to be okay. This was actually a good thing. And then Truth went on to explain how the subconscious mind works. Truth explained to me that he is an intelligence within Ashley's subconscious mind that is the aspect of all truth. I had somehow managed to trigger him, and he was able to manifest himself to me while Ashley slept. Truth then went on to explain that besides his own existence, there are many other intelligences that work with him. There exist both good and bad intelligences, helpful and unhelpful. All together, they make up who we are. And yes, Truth identifies himself as male, but there are many other intelligences that identify as female. Truth then went on to explain that our mind is like a stage. Typically, we only have one actor, or in this case, one intelligence, on our stage at a time. So let's say, for example, that the intelligence confidence is on our stage. Because confidence has the domain and the voice, we are going to act and think a certain way, confidently. Now, if another intelligence gets triggered that is stronger or louder than confidence in that situation, then that is the intelligence that will be on our stage. So let's say, for example, that fear is able to dominate confidence in a certain situation. So fear now has the voice. Fear now has the domain. So we are going to change our behaviors and our thinking to fearful. Now, this all happens subconsciously, so most people are unaware of it. Truth then went on to tell me that night that every intelligence has its own experiences, its own triggers, and its own responses to the environment. In a specific mental and physical state, these intelligences can manifest themselves through their person's voice to be heard. I hung up the phone from talking with Truth that first night in total shock. I had no idea what just happened. My 17-year-old brain could not comprehend what just happened. Yet at the same time, it all made perfect sense. The next day at school, I tried to tell Ashley about the experience, and she quickly stopped me and told me she had no idea what I was talking about. All she could remember was calling me the night before, then waking up that next morning feeling great. She thought I was insane for trying to tell her that she spoke to me for over an hour on the phone after she fell asleep. But I knew what I heard and I knew what I experienced that night, and I could not deny it. Yet at the same time, I wanted to know. I wanted to know that it was real, and I wanted to know that I wasn't going crazy or just imagining things. So I tried that same new method on another friend. I was careful not to tell him what I was going to try, nor how I expected him to respond. The exact same thing happened. It was almost as if there was a seamless continuation of what Ashley's intelligences told me. This may sound crazy, but in my own experience, after doing this for 5 years, I've seen it work and change lives with hundreds of different people. The possibilities with these intelligences are endless. Let's say, for example, there's someone who has vivid, reoccurring nightmares because of a traumatic event. All I would have to do is speak specifically with dreams. I would give dreams new instructions and help him learn that it is okay to discontinue the nightmares. If dreams understands and agrees, then the behavior will be changed. Another example is speaking directly with health. I can speak with health in a person to reveal diagnoses, both mind and body, along with proper treatments. Like I said, the possibilities with these intelligences are virtually endless. And this has actually been around a lot longer than we think it has. There was a man who lived in the early 1900s by the name of Edgar Cayce. He was famous for being able to lay down, put himself into a trance, then have someone else in the room ask him questions about life decisions and health problems. In the trance, he would answer using the pronoun we, indicating that it was actually his intelligences giving the answers. And every time when he woke up, he never remembered anything he had said while in trance. He made an interesting statement in his life that everybody can do what he was able to do. Well, I'm here to tell you that I can turn anyone into an Edgar Cayce. Eleanor Longden gave a TED Talk in 2013 about hearing voices. Earlier, I explained how most people are unaware of their intelligence's interactions. Well, the other people are aware. And if they accept them and embrace them as Eleanor did, then they can serve to be very beneficial. The exciting part is that anybody can learn how to communicate with their own intelligences for their benefit. This has the potential to change our entire reality. And if you're listening to this and you can already perceive these intelligences and hear their voices, I want you to know that you are not alone. This is only unlocking this potential. I will work endlessly to research this, to develop it, and to make this knowledge available to everyone because I know it can help. These intelligences are ready to speak to us. The question is, are we ready to listen? Thank you.